Is your business pootling along instead of firing on all cylinders? Are you feeling overwhelmed, stressed, and frustrated? Do your dreams of financial freedom feel a long way off? Then this is the podcast for you. Little Voice, Big Business, with your host, Nadia Finer.
Hello and welcome to Little Voice Big Business with me, Nadia Finer. And today I'm really excited to be joined by one of my actionistas and now one of my good friends, Louise Clark, who's here to talk to us a bit about design. Welcome to the show, Louise.
Hi, Nadia.
Hello.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
We've been talking about this for ages, saying that you need to really be on the show, and
it's finally happening.
It's finally happening, and I know this is your first podcasting experience.
I know, scary.
But funny, because we've been having a little chat about the benefits of podcasting and how the fact is we both have been afflicted today by some facial blemishes, and the brilliant thing is no one can see.
Exactly. Today we both have faces for podcasting.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's really a good thing to say that someone has a face for podcasting.
No, but that's definitely what's going on right now.
Yeah, so we're embracing the medium of podcasting. And the other thing we need to tell you is that it's a heat wave today in England and it's completely boiling. So I think we're not looking our best. But we're melting, but in a very ladylike fashion.
No sweaty Bettys here.
No. Well, yes, I think there are sweaty Bettys here, but luckily you can't see, so it's all good. So today I wanted to bring you on the show, Louise, to talk about design. I've been a fan of your design platform called Designsta for a while now, and I feel like you're probably going to go off and Google that, so we should spell it, shouldn't we?
So it's Designsta.com. I hope I spelled that right.
I'm sure you did. You definitely did. I was thinking if I spell it, I'm worried that I'm going to make a mistake or not do it in the correct fashion.
Oh, no, it's just design with an STA on the end.
Yeah, and so explain what it is, because I think it took me a while to understand what it is, but now that I've been using it, I'm hooked.
Yes, I remember when you first signed up and you didn't really know, and then you went on it and you're like, oh my God, I didn't realise it was this.
Yeah, I didn't realise. I just thought it was, like a group talking about design. Yeah. And I was happy to be part of it. And then when I saw what you'd created, I practically wet myself. It was really exciting.
Oh, that's got to be a good thing.
Maybe don't put that in the testimonials.
I like it. It was that exciting.
Best not to mention one's pelvic floor in a testimonial. So come on then, tell people what it does.
So basically, Designsta is a design platform aimed at female solopreneurs, just like us.
Like us.
And it's basically a really simple to use graphic design platform. It's stocked up with lots of pre-designed templates, which I've done myself. Tried to make things a little bit different and funky to what is already saturating the market out there. Yeah. And also, along with the templates, you get group support. So I've got a Facebook group just for my members where I offer studio hours, give all my members feedback, help with their design, help with the platform if they get stuck with anything. Also included is lots of design elements. I do monthly training bundles. And yeah, that's about it. The gist of it, really.
So essentially what it means is you can go on and you download or import things and there's loads of existing cool stuff. So it doesn't look like the usual, I would say, frilly, fancy, fluffy stuff. It's got a bit more of an edge. There's kind of cooler graphics in there and you can upload your own logos and things.
Yeah.
I use it to create social media images, workbooks, printables, banners, all kinds of stuff. And it allows you to kind of create a cohesive look for your brand, I guess, but a cool one.
Yeah, you can pretty much create anything on there. Although it's really simple to use, you can do a lot with it. and I'm always creating new stuff to put on there. I can't help myself. I'm always doodling away and then uploading new design elements. And so, yeah, there's a lot on there.
And I like the fact that, it allows you to create a brand that looks a bit more individual to some of the stuff which is out there at the moment. And it's easy to use. So you don't have to be a graphic designer to use Designsta. Thank God.
No, exactly. It's like what you do, because I have loads of templates. So if you're not very confident in doing your own designs, you can take what I've already created and you can edit them and make them your own. You can change all the colors, the fonts, upload your own bits and bobs. Or like what you do, Nadia, is you just completely design your own things from scratch and you can use the elements that are in there.
I do a mixture. Like sometimes I do that. If I'm in a rush, I'll use one of your templates, move bits around, change the colours, add my stuff. And I think somehow having a template which gives you the
starting point.
Yeah, like the composition of it.
Yeah,
like when it's all laid out nicely, so it's not going to look crap from the start. It's going to look quite decent.
Yeah.
And then you can make it your own. It means like I can just knock these kind of images out really quick. It saves me loads of time. So as you can tell, I'm a bit of a fan of Designsta. So yeah, if anybody's looking for a way to create cool brand stuff for their business or interesting images or all that kind of good stuff, then head over and have a look. It's really good. Louise, what gave you this idea? Where did it all begin? Because I've only known you since you've been doing this, so I know you've got a background in design. How did it all come about?
So I've been a graphic designer for probably 12, 13 years now. And I was doing a lot of one-to-one client work, but I knew that wasn't where I wanted to be headed in life. And it was just dragging me down, and a lot of demanding clients, a lot of lovely clients, but it was just really hard work. But I was in all these Facebook groups, hanging out with all these other female solopreneurs. And I started realizing that more and more of them were going down the DIY design route, probably mainly just for affordability, because it is expensive. And in this day and age, like, you need so much content to be putting out on all the different social media platforms. So if you're going to be hiring a graphic designer for every little thing that you want to put out there, it's going to get really expensive.
Yeah.
So people are taking on their own design. But I started realizing that a lot of them were so intimidated by graphic design, didn't know where to start. I think back and it's like, actually, when you don't really know what you're doing, it is really daunting.
Yeah.
So these ladies were going in these groups and they were sharing their design attempts and So yeah, let's just say they could have been made a lot better.
Yeah.
So I started off like helping out, sort of trying to give my advice and stuff. But in these group situations, it gets very crowded and everyone's giving their opinion and their feedback. And the poor people that are doing the designs are just getting so confused and overwhelmed. And it's just like, oh no, it's even worse than it was. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, because I've seen they're like, shall I choose A or B or C? And they're all slightly different. And then nobody agrees. And then they're like changing the colours and moving things around. And then someone will whip in there and be really harsh. And you just think, oh my God. And it's actually, there's some stuff which is, I guess, the design basics that you want to get right. But then at a certain point, it is subjective. And asking 4,000 people for their opinion is perhaps not the most effective use of your time.
Exactly. And it causes arguments. I've seen these people giving the feedback actually kicking off with each other. Like getting a bit rowdy.
I know.
And it's like, no. So
they're like, no, you're wrong. It should be slightly to the left. No, it's not. It should be to the right. And you're thinking, calm down, love. It's only a banner.
People really get on their high horse about this stuff. Yeah, so there was all that going on. And then I sort of thought, ooh, maybe this is my calling in life. So I went away and started researching what I could do, chatted with loads of different developers and stuff, and came up with the idea that I wanted to have my own sort of mini editable design platform. But as time went on, I somehow ended up with kind of a really full design platform on my hands. I was like, wow, where did that come from? Before I knew it was there.
It's because you are, in fact, a business genius and you didn't know.
Yeah, it feels like it happened overnight, but when I think back, no, there was a lot of stress and tears and wailing and all sorts going on at the time, trying to put it all together. Building the templates was a mission. Yeah, so basically that's where it came from.
It's brilliant. And I think what's really impressive, when you go and have a look, you'll see, is that it's not often that we come across a girl like us who's brought together something beautiful and something really techy. So I think it's just genius that actually, and you totally downplay the fact that you've created this actual tech platform. It's the, you don't need Photoshop or something like that, do you? You just use Designsta and it's actually fun to use. So I think what you've done is really incredible, but I don't want to go on about it because you'll get a really big head. So
I'm not going to fit out of the door at this rate.
I know. We'll have to call the fire brigade and winch you out.
My head's stuck.
Nadia said too many nice things to me and now I'm trapped in my house. So, anyway, being serious, I know we do struggle to be serious, you and me.
It's not my strong point.
I know, we're a bit silly, but I think that it's important to be silly. You don't want to be sensible all the time. Perhaps some of the time would be good. Yeah. But let's talk design, shall we?
Okay.
So, let's start off like you alluded. Look how I use long words on the book. You alluded to the fact that people, maybe are not creating the best designs at the moment on their own. So should we talk kind of common mistakes that you see people make? And then we can share some tips and bits of advice with you to help you kind of improve your design stuff.
Yes. Well, a lot of people make the mistake of just wanting to throw every single piece of advice or everything they've ever done in life in your face on one design. And it's like just far too much going on. You don't need that much going on. So I always say that less is more with design. You don't need to crowd and clutter it so much. You want it to be readable, clear. You want people to be able to look at it and know what you want them to do instantly. So always having a clear call to action on your design is a good idea.
Yeah, that sounds like sensible advice. I do see lots of designs where there's kind of no room to breathe between the different things. It's all a bit mushed up. So, less is more. And also, if you're doing a Facebook ad, for example, there are rules, aren't there, about the amount of text you can have on there?
There are rules. Yeah, you're only allowed 20% of text on your Facebook advert, which is actually really hard to do because it's not very much text at all. Yeah. So in Designsta, I've actually put an inbuilt grid text checker. So when you're doing your Facebook ad, you can just pull this grid over the top and you just need to count 5 rectangles. And that's the amount of text that you're allowed to have on your advert. So I think that helps out people. Yeah. And I've also done lots of pre-designed text layouts for the Facebook ad. So you literally just need to go in and type your own text over the top.
So clever, saves loads of time. And I think that when you have your templates, you see, things like having a border. You do lots of kind of arrows and things pointing to the call to action. So it's sort of set up in a way, isn't it, to help people structure their designs? Yeah,
you want the redesign to sort of follow through the design in the way that it's intended. So I've done all the layouts and everything and placed all the different components in the correct places. So so it helps out with that.
I hadn't even realised that's what you were doing, but now that you mention it, that's pretty clever.
There is method in my madness, you see.
And what about colours? Because what I've been seeing quite recently is that people, they create a mood board and then they draw their brand colours from the mood board. And then they end up with about 8 colours and they say, well, these are my brand colours. Now, I've worked in marketing and branding and I've never experienced a brand that's had more than about 3 colours. No. So talk me through this. Am I wrong? What's changed? Has the world gone mad?
Well, some people have gone mad, yes. No, so I always say basically the best place to start if you have no branding is to start with a mood board. And a mood board is just basically a visual representation. It's where you gather all your inspiration to gain clarity on the visual direction that you want to take your business in. So that is collecting things like colours, patterns, imagery, fonts. But yeah, back to the colours, I would say between 2 and 5 colours, like 5 would be the maximum amount of colours. I use 3 colours in my branding. You use 2 in yours, don't you?
Well, I have black, white and pink.
Oh yeah, white as well, yeah. But the black and the pink is the main.
Yeah, the black and the pink. Partly because I can't remember the codes otherwise. No, seriously though. I always tend to do branding with black and white plus 1 colour. I don't know why, I just find it's easier for me and I find it more striking, but I guess I could add 1 or 2 more kind of tones to give it a bit of depth, but I definitely think you want to keep it as simple as possible. That's my preference. So I think 3 or 4 is a good number.
That's simple.
Yeah, simple is good, isn't it? And in terms of branding, now, I know a lot of people think that branding is literally just choosing your colours and your font, and it's sort of done off, like you say, a mood board or a reaction to something or a feeling. But don't you think that branding goes a bit deeper than that?
Definitely.
Yeah.
So everyone, that is a very common misconception that people think that branding is just your logo. So in terms of design, it would consist of your logo, your fonts, your colors, your imagery, patterns, photography, icons, and all of these things need to complement each other and be consistent.
Yeah.
Basically, you wanting to say, like, it's sort of like, yoo-hoo, I'm over here, I'm looking all gorgeous and right up your street, and I'm representing everything that you love and want and need in your life right now as a business, you know, come over here. You've got to think about what your target audience likes. It's not just about what you like, so don't go off your favorite color.
Yeah, that's a good point, isn't it? And I think consistency is another aspect, because I remember when I worked for Nivea, we used to say that you could watch a Nivea ad on TV, and even before you saw any product or any mention of Nivea, you would kind of know it was a Nivea ad just by the style of photography, maybe the tones of the colours, the type of model. She'd always be wearing like a white bikini, for example. You could just tell it was a Nivea ad, and that was before the logo or any colours at all. So it's definitely, I feel like it's about how you want people to feel when they interact with your brand.
Definitely.
And then it's also about consistency, so that everything you do, isn't it? Everything you do, it reflects your branding. So it's not just, oh, my website looks a certain way. It's everything. So
it's basically the tone of voice of your whole business, and you want to make it instantly recognizable to people that you're working with, or people that just see you and see your business in the street or online. You want them to know that it's you straight away.
Yeah, so that's why it's important, isn't it, to have the social media images, matching. Yeah. It's like having a matching outfit, I guess, that everything ties in together, from your pants to your
everything. Imagine if you actually did that with your outfit, like everything is the same.
Yeah. You may look a bit like, who did they used to say did that? I think they sometimes say the Duchess of Cambridge does that she's a bit matchy. But that's only in Grazia. I'm not one to comment.
No, I wouldn't know.
No, me neither. But I suppose it's like putting on matching socks and shoes and doing your nails so they're the same. Like within your business, everything needs to tie in together.
It does. It all needs to flow nicely. So you might create banners for your website, call to actions for your website, buttons for your website, icons. You might create headers and footers that you'd use throughout workbooks, covers. All of these things should tie in across the board and have a look that is consistent across them all. Social media images as well.
Say no to working crazy hours for tiny profits. Join Nadia's free challenge and pump up your profits. Discover the simple sales and pricing strategies Nadia uses to help clients go from pennies to $5,000 a month. Sign up and let Nadia help you beat overwhelm, get focused and make more money. Every day for 5 days, Nadia will deliver a nugget of business wisdom and set you a task to help you make more money from your business. She'll also be available in the Facebook group for support, questions, requests, whatever you need to help you make the most of this week-long challenge. What are you waiting for? Join Nadia's free Profit Pump Challenge. Visit nadiafiner.com/challenge.
I guess you may be freaking out at this point, thinking, oh my God, that sounds like a lot of work. Gonna take me ages. You know, where should I start? What's the most important stuff? Because I do believe that although it's a good idea to have everything tying in, you can start with the basics and then over time you'll just keep adding to it. And that's why I think something like Designsta enables me to go back in and just keep creating more stuff as and when I need it. So it's kind of an ongoing process. But I guess the beginning is deciding on the colours and having a logo, right?
Yeah, like I say, just start off with a mood board, picking out all the things that's sort of deciding on the direction that you want to go in, your colours, your fonts, and then you could even just start with that. Even if you don't have a logo, you might not feel that you're at the stage to have a logo yet. You could just take the fonts and colours and go from there and see how it works out. Just test things.
Yeah, I like the idea of that. You know, if your website is your name, for example, you don't necessarily need to have a logo. You could just write it in different fonts and see which one you like best. And then when you're ready, you can do the logo properly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's
a lot of people do that.
Yeah, I like that idea because, you know, rather than investing money in having a logo done and then you're like, oh, damn it, I don't like it.
Yeah.
And then you get to give it a try. Now, I'm a bit of a logo, I don't know, geek, I suppose. And I do often see logos that have, 100 different elements added, almost like pictures. And I'm thinking, so I was taught that a good logo you could write on a pen and it would fit.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And that it would be recognisable, say, on the side of a lorry from a distance, or as the lorry went past you, you would recognise the logo. So what is this business where people are just kind of adding in all kinds of random bits and bobs to their logos?
Yeah, so there's a lot of confusion with logos. I see this happening all the time and it's like, no, people sharing their logos. I actually did one of my design bundles on logo design to try and explain some of this stuff within the Designsta platform, just to explain all of the technical stuff about logos and logo design. Basically, logos should always be designed as a vector design.
What does that mean?
It's made up out of a series of points that it's a mathematical equation. These points, you can stretch.
Oh my goodness, you're going to blow my mind, Louise.
I'm trying to put this simply. Basically, you could enlarge the size of your logo to the size of the planet and it wouldn't lose quality. It wouldn't look pixelated or grainy. If you do your logo in something like Photoshop, that's going to be a raster image. Basically, that's like a photograph or a JPEG. So if you enlarge that, it's going to lose quality and go really grainy.
Okay. So how do you get one of these vector thingies?
Yeah, you can do it in Illustrator. That's the main platform that people would use for logo design. You can actually create vector logos in Designsta as well, but just simple ones. If you're just using a text-based logo, you can do that in Designsta and download it in the correct formats as well.
Oh, I didn't even know that. So basically, you want your logo to be stretchable, like it can get as big as the planet and it won't go fuzzy. So that way, if you decide to have a poster made, you can put your logo on and it'll look good. If you have it on a t-shirt, it'll look good. If you decided to stick one on the side of your house.
Yes, exactly.
It would look good.
It's not going to cause you problems later down the line for printing and things like that. So you can have it enlarged to any size you want and it'll be fine. But yeah, I see a lot of people sharing these logos and they've added in gold elements. And there's nothing wrong with that. I love gold. I love metallics. But usually you can tell when you look at watercolor elements, you can tell that those are raster elements and they're not going to have the same, you're not going to be able to blow them up. They will lose quality.
Okay, so there's definitely the vector factor.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
The vector factor. I like it.
The vector factor to consider. And then also, I think there's this kind of simplicity.
Definitely, yeah. You want to keep it simple, classic, timeless. You don't want it to go out of fashion. And there are a lot of trends within graphic design.
Yeah.
It's like fashion design. 1 minute, a certain look is everywhere and everyone wants it and everyone's like, ooh, it's amazing. I love it. I want it just like that.
Yeah.
And then you start to see it everywhere and it just saturates the scene and, you become sick of it. It's dated.
Yes,
you don't
I've
want something...
I also think that, someone key in an industry will have a certain look. So, for example, Carrie from the Female Entrepreneur Association, her branding is a certain way.
Yeah.
I mean, how would you describe that branding in proper graphic terms? Because it's quite girly, but sleek as well. So
yeah, it's lovely. It's very feminine and chic, and it's quite sort of minimalistic, but it's lovely. She uses a lot of gold glitter and soft blush pinks and things like that.
Yeah.
It's very pretty and girly, and it's perfect for her target audience.
But I see a lot of people using that same kind of branding in their own stuff. And
I was just about to say that, yes.
It's not cool because although it looks pretty, you look just like that. You look like you're trying to be like Carrie, so
exactly.
Not a good idea.
You want it to be instantly recognizable. You don't want someone to look at your brand and go, oh, that's the FEA. It's like, no, it's not. It's actually mine. And then,
Yeah, it's confusing.
It's very confusing.
And I think, I do like things like Creative Market.
Yes.
That's creativemarket.com. But the way the website's designed, the first few things you see are the most popular and, the stuff that's trending almost. So I know when I was first starting out doing design bits and bobs for myself, I was kind of lured into buying things that looked so gorgeous.
Yeah.
But then I was a bit naive about it. And then I realised, that maybe like 50,000 other people had also downloaded the same stuff as me. And then the look I was creating wasn't actually me. It was of the time, of that moment.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm guilty of doing that too. I think a lot of people are. You see something pretty and you just want it, don't you? But then when you start to see it everywhere, it's like, oh no, I just wasted $20 on that and everyone's got it.
Yeah, I did that with some stock images, which I thought looked really cool. And then after a while, I was like, oh no, everybody's got the same as me. This is a cool little... So actually, moving away from that kind of a platform to something a bit more niche, with more flexibility, you're less likely to create something that everybody else has got. So I think that's important. And also when you're planning your branding, it's important to think about what's important for your people and what means something to you. So what you're really like and how you want to represent yourself and your business, because I think if you go a bit deeper, man.
Yes, dig deep.
Dig deep. Let's get a bit emotion here. Dig deep. And then you're more likely to create something that's individual than just following the trend and putting like watercolor swoops on everything and then finding that you look just the same as somebody else.
Exactly. You've got to just know... It is tricky because you've got to think about yourself and how you're representing yourself, but you've got to think about how you want to come across to the people that you are targeting. So you've just got to do a lot of research, find out where they're hanging out, what companies they're interested in, who they love, what groups they're in, just basically stalk them a little bit. Not in a bad way, but...
Any excuse to go a bit stalky.
Not like psycho stalker or anything, just like find out everything that you can about them and what they love and what they're into and try and bring that across in your branding so that it really resonates with them.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I think a bit of research and not rushing straight in to the first thing that catches your eye, because I know that it can be a case of bright, shiny objects when we come to creating the visual representation for our business, because it's fun.
It is fun. It's scary for some people, but I think it's so much fun doing all that stuff.
Yeah, me too. And actually, do you know what? It's funny because I always find that when I'm procrastinating and I really ought to be doing something that either scares me or I find boring, I do all the design stuff instead.
I know, I'm exactly the same. If there's something I'm putting off, it's like, oh, I'll just do some more design elements for Designsta. I'll just go and build some more templates because that's the fun stuff that I know how to do.
Yeah, exactly. We do the fun stuff, and I think this really is the fun stuff. So, what would you say if somebody is feeling intimidated by design? So, there'll be people out there who just love it, and like us, are a bit kind of obsessive about making pretty things and, do it at any available opportunity. And then there'll be, or you may be feeling a bit like, oh my God, I don't know where to start. What's your kind of advice, like a couple of things people can do to improve their branding right now?
Okay. Well, I've got members who are at both ends of what you've just said. So some that are really confident and they can just be left to their own devices and they're happy to just go off and do their own thing. And I've got members that are really just starting out and they don't really know much and they find it all a little bit scary. So that's the good part about having the group that I've got. So they can come and share stuff with me and I'll give them my professional opinion and feedback and help them. But I would say probably start off working from templates to get a feel for the layout and how the design flows in general before you then go on to create your own stuff, because you're going to get more of an idea of what works and what doesn't if you start off like that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I think as well, what you said there about giving your professional view, I'd much rather have your view as someone who actually knows what they're doing than the view of a bunch of randomers who know less than me.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't want to get involved in a fight.
No fighting.
Ladies, no fighting.
Put your handbags away.
Yeah. Handbags at dawn. Let's not have any ruckus over design, and instead I think it's good that it's fun. It really is a fun thing to do, and yeah, I think that creating a unique visual representation for your business, it does help you to get seen in what I call the sea of sameness. There's so much stuff out there that looks kind of the same, isn't there?
There is. You've got to think as well, just because something works for one business, it doesn't mean it will work for you.
Yeah.
There was this one guy who was sharing his new branding in a group a while ago, and he'd used the Disney font as his main font.
Oh, God.
It's like, I don't think that one's going to wash, really.
But also, I think sometimes fonts are not actually, you can't use a font like that, can you? Like, I know you couldn't use the Nivea font. That was theirs.
Yeah, I don't know if it was maybe a copy of it, but it was exactly the same. So, yeah, you used it throughout and it was...
Imagine if you were like funeral services and you used the Disney font. That would be really weird.
It's not going to work.
Yeah, so I think I have become slightly obsessed with fonts in some ways, and what's also funny is that Jacob's a bit like that too, and he's 8, so he sometimes, I made like party invitations for him in Designsta, and he was like, why have you used that font?
Oh, I love that. He's starting off early.
You're not supposed to have a view on fonts at this age. Just take what you're given. It's like...
Well, do you know what? I've got a few members that are like working from home mums. And I know a couple of them have mentioned that they've had their young children playing around on Designsta as well, because they wanted to get them started in design at a young age.
Oh my God.
I think that's really cool.
That is cool. The kids are taking over. We have to watch out.
I know.
Or do you know what we could do is train them up and then they could do all our graphics for us.
Exactly. Just have an early retirement. Get Jacob out there doing it all.
Yeah, outsource it to the kids. Be like, I'll give you 3 sweets if you do all my social media. Slave labour. Oh, well, Louise, it is always a pleasure talking to you, and thank you so much for coming on the show. I hope that now that you've popped your podcasting cherry, you'll be doing a lot more.
I know, it's been so much fun. I've loved it, and it really wasn't scary.
I knew it wasn't going to be scary. It's just like a normal chat.
Thank you for easing me in gently.
And well done on creating Designsta. It's really, really cool. And well done on choosing to be part of my Actionista Academy. You've made lots of good decisions.
I love being an Actionista. It's the best.
I'll pay you later. Thanks. All right then, Louise. I will see you soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Nadia.
Bye.
Little voice, big business.